A 1, a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello everybody, and welcome to the morning stream. Today, the thrilling conclusion of Mega Man W followed by Mega Man 11. I don't know if I would be able to fully beat Mega Man 11 today, but we'll see. But I do want to beat at least the main game of Mega Man W. The two other modes available for it will be saved for later, however. I do promise that because the roguelike mode looks interesting. So welcome to stream Patio, Raccoon, Mr. Scarday, and anyone else who I missed. Just want to let you know, last time I beat the fortress, or rather technically, spoiler, the first fortress. So from here on out we're going to pretty much endgame stuff. So if you haven't seen if you haven't seen or attended the first part, and haven't played the game yet, I suggest watching the VOD of this later, or preferably the edited version. So before heading into the Wily Castle, it's time to pay a visit to the shop. Oh, auto's been fixed. Good job, Light. Energy Balancer Neo. Picking up weapon energy will automatically refill all weapons equally. Yes, please. I want to fully stock up and eat tanks. Looks like I'm full. Sure. I don't want any data upgrades right now, so we're golden. After a quick stop to the shop, it's time to confront Wily in their castle. After a quick stop to the shop, it's time to confront Wily and Weaseletta in their new fortress. It's time to confront Dr. Wily and Weaseletta in their fortress. Cool shades they have. even her capsule has shades. That's a cool pair of shades the fortress is wearing. It's time to confront Weaseletta and Wily in their fortress. It's time to confront Weaseletta and Wily in their new fortress. It's time to confront Wily and Weaseletta. Let's do it. Pulling a Mega Man 11, eh? Even got 2 statues associated to them. Nice. Oh, it didn't restore my weapon energy from before. And let's pretend that didn't happen. Oh, cool. You learned how to throw axes. That's wonderful. Also, I made one mistake. I need to switch out my weapon lab a bit. I don't want that weapon to be enhanced. Ah, light's also okay again. Nice touch that the lab is still ruined in the background. But this is still better for burst fire. Oh, it becomes armor piercing. Well, shield piercing. Nah, I'll keep the cross shape for now. Anyways, following a quick stop to the shop, it's time to confront Dr. Weaseletta and Wily in their new castle. I agree with you, Patio. The bosses are, for the most part, surprisingly manageable, even without the use of the charge shot or special weapons. Cool shades this fortress has. Play the game or watch episode 1, Sylveon. She's basically a hired gun. Yeah, Wily finally hired human mercenaries. Cool shades this castle has. It's missing the small pipe to the side, however. Pulling a Mega Man 11 here. Nice statues. It didn't restore all my weapon energy though. This didn't restore all my weapon energy, however. That's a little bit too risky again, I'm afraid. Oh well. Not to worry. With my energy balancer Neo, everything should get restored fairly quickly. Ooh. Let's see, there we go. Plus, I have plenty of W tanks to spare. Let's see, where's the suction? This one. I'm gonna start using the analog. I'm gonna start using the analog version more. Oh no! Don't get pulled into the spikes. The wind shifts directions, doesn't it? No. Luckily I can drop out of the spotlights pretty painlessly. Oh gosh. I want to wave dash. Excuse me, wrecking beam. Excuse me, it's actually called a wrecking beam. Excuse me, it's actually called a wrecking beam. Let's see. Got her diamond! I'm taking the right route. And using one of my 9E tanks. Go, 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 go! So that was Dual Castle 1. Danger, Mega Man's ahead. Super Totem Pole. Super Totem Pole Stacker. Each head is a different attack, and the weakness is when they open their eyes. Good night to you. Each head has a different attack, and they're only vulnerable when their eyes are open. Yellow was the easiest one to dodge. That wasn't so hard. This was easier than the Virus Fortress bosses. Get shafted. Get shafted. Are the bosses just as hard as in? No, they're easier. Down we go. Aha! I just wish this boss was a little bit harder. Let's see. We've gone from the very creative Ouch. We traveled from the very creative Virus Fortress over to the more conventional Wily Castle. Oh, yeah, I know what your weakness is. Shattered Diamond, especially when powered up, is the mini-boss killer. Shattered Diamond, especially when powered up, is the mini-boss killer. Oh no. I at least have some recourse. There are 8 other utilities. There are 6 other utilities I could have used. I just like Carry for how multifunctional it is. It comes in handy in so many different scenarios. That's why I don't even have the rush. That's why I don't even have the rush coil or rush shit equipped. Rhino. Let's see. No, that's wrong. I guess they didn't like my song. Glad to know that Y2 is still the sewer level. Although this time it's far clear. Where's Pulse? Gotcha. Although this time around it's far cleaner. Someone's properly filtrated it. Right, kunai. Oh. I didn't mean to go here. That's the only downside of using the... That's one of the downsides of using the kunai as an offensive option. And to correct an earlier statement, this game does have the quick weapon reset. The only problem is that it's rather frame... The only problem is that it's rather frame... To correct an earlier statement, this game does actually have the quick weapon... Oh, I need that. To correct an earlier statement, this game does have the quick rep... I spy a CD. To correct an earlier statement, this game does have the quick weapon reset. It's just that it's very precise to execute. And the dev has mentioned that they will fix it. And this will not be 100% playthrough because I know for a fact I missed a few CDs here and there, even in this stage alone. Yeah, Wily 1 wasn't that difficult, even with the wind gimmick. Dawn Buckle. Yeah, this game has 2 pirate RMs. Indeed, this game has 2 pirate roadmasters. He's the better of the 2. Haha. But wait. It couldn't be that easy. Giant enemy crab! Oh no. Ow. Yeah, I'm e-tanking this. I was gonna say he was even easier than Maelstrom Woman. Oh gosh, too close. I was gonna say he was even easier than Maelstrom Woman. At least these skeletons don't... Thankfully these skeletons don't block. Let's finish this. I expected a more dramatic explosion. That was a bit anticlimactic. Avast me, mateys! Did you notice the stage takes place inside the Wily pipe? Oh my gosh, I completely missed that. Oh my gosh, I completely missed the pipe. I was expecting it to be on the right side. I didn't expect that. I didn't think that I forgot to pay attention to the left end. I forgot to pay attention to the left end, where it's been made bigger and more dramatic. Oh neat, the shift blocks make their return. Buckler Barrage. Let's go. Ow. Wish you could deflect explosives, but that would make it too powerful. Wait, does it also work? Yeah, it does. Good. Come on now. I want to bully you. 12 HP, that is a little bit rough. I could take the shortcut, I'm not going to. Ooh, vertical shift blocks. I was talking about how throughout the franchise, shift blocks are underutilized. Still gotta get used to the weapon wheel. If I press the middle mouse button, okay, if I press the right analog stick when using this, it doesn't reset my weapon. This is revenge for earlier. Oh, by the way, Sylv, if I just use the right analog stick button, it doesn't reset it. I have to press L and R. Oh, pff. Thank you, Spike Guard. That was a really foolish jump of me. Yeah, they put the pipe on the building. It is magnificent. It was just me not paying enough attention to what was going on. That's why I missed it. Oh no. Well, the checkpoint is just before here. Many kinds of shift blocks in rapid succession, only to get shot by that turret. Only to get shot by that turret. This stage takes place by the shore. Hey, Buster. Is this weapon like a cooler Mirror Buster? Yes. Can be aimed in 8 different directions. Deflect shot back with more power. Deflect shot back with more power, and also grants iframes if it's not strong enough. Which I wish the weapon get screen actually told me. Well, what happens when in old games where multiple of the same sound applied, what ended up happening is, well, they just kept stacking on each other. And because of that, they ended up peaking way more often. And also, correction, this is not the wave beam, this is the wrecking beam. As a reference to wrecking programmers of Maker fame. Eep, that could have gone really badly. Get me out. Get me out, get me out. Thank you. Just passing through. I wish some of these weapons are a bit stronger, like coal ignition. E for everyone. Is there any weapon that can pierce through the guard? Oh, I guess not. That is gonna be... If only I had the speed gear. Excuse me, that should what? Okay, that doesn't destroy the press. That is, surprising, actually. Also, that was my fault for perishing, but whatever. There, I could... Let me see. Is that not thick enough where I can just, The music of this game is, it's passable, but it's not Minubi's best work, I'll put it that way. I like some of the creative decisions, especially during the Virus Fortress. I like some of the creative decisions with the Virus Fortress teams, but it's one of those situations where the teams are passable. Of course, I realize the mistake I made here. Presto. I am not using that. Look alive. No. What? I see it. And I get an axe to the and I get an axe to my face for my trouble. Your best work is the final boss themes. Well, I'll be looking forward to it then. Oh no. Now the peekaboo blocks themselves are shift. That generator looks a bit foreboding. Grand? That's a grand looking cannon. That's a grand looking cannon. I don't know about you, but it feels like the level design has gotten easier once I entered the Wily Castle. I was dying way more often during the Virus Fortress. Maybe it's because I've gotten better at the game. Maybe it's because I've gotten better at the game, or maybe it's because the game. Maybe it's because I've gotten better at the game, or maybe it's because it's actually gotten easier. Not as difficult as Jet King. That was me paying too much attention to chat. For one, the platforms are way more. For one, the platforms are wider. Again, me not paying attention enough. I will say that the boss fights do feel a bit tougher, maybe. I guess the reason why it feels easier is because there's less instant death. Or at least it feels that way. Now, let's actually pay attention and finish the boss fight. Because I got fairly far during the first time around. This is where Beat Saber would really come in handy. Wait, that's instant death? Oh my goodness. I thought that was gonna deal something like 7 or 10 damage. The press levels aren't that hard, Sylv. Maybe the boss fight at the end. It seems completely random when they're going to decide to charge up the beam. Ah, I thought I was going to get knocked to the left, not right. Hey, Deadly. I'm making this look harder than it actually is. Like, I thought over there it's going to be safe and get knocked to the left. I got knocked to the right. I mean, overall, this game actually isn't that... Well, I should clarify. Compared to many other fan games and level packs I've played, the game, for the most part, is on the intermediate side. This is hard more because of the risk of instant death. Aha. Wait, Carrie doesn't move? See? It seems RNG dependent on when they'll decide to charge up their big freaking laser cannon. Haha. GG. Normally I'd ask for it to have one more attack, but considering the normally I'd ask for another set of attacks. Normally I'd ask for another set of attacks, but with the risk of instant death everywhere, fair enough. And yeah, Mega Dragon Mach 2 I'm blanking out too, please. More water? Must be cherry flavored. Must be cherry grapefruit flavored. Hello? Let me up. Wait. Let's continue. Does remember where I last was. Late month, please. Tedley. More water, eh? Must be cherry or grapefruit flavored. Must be cherry or grapefruit flavored. Huh? Why is this sparkling? That usually indicates there's a CD nearby. Wait a moment. Is this the capsule level? I think it is. We're nearly full. We're good. Wait a moment. Is this the rematch stage? It is. Time for our time-honored tradition of sussing out weaknesses. Maelstrom Woman should be weak to... Oh, too close, too close. Wait, I pressed the wrong button. Let me redo this. Yeah, the pause does stop the music for something. No, Buster. I want to find out for myself because that's part of the fun. And also being baffled at some of the choices. Like, I can already guess 4 of the weaknesses. I am gonna just figure out something. Oh, you mean the pause screen? It just muffles it. Cherry flavored. Why is this platform sparkling? That usually means there's a secret nearby. That usually means there's a CD nearby. That usually means there's a CD there. Wait a moment. Is this the rematch stage? Wait a moment. Is this the rematch stage? It is. Time for our time-honored tradition of sussing out weaknesses. Time for our time-honored fangame tradition of sussing out weaknesses. Doesn't seem to be Buckler. Not Kunai either. Not that. Oh! Yeah, she reacts to that, and I didn't pay enough attention. Oops. Let me reset my weapons. The good thing about this is that I can reset my shop items too. I am ambivalent to the sound muffling, but you should make it an option. I would like to have Carry and Maker. You must search the platform. Oh, I see it. I'm guessing that Weasel had a push for this. Wily would never have put free cherry soda in the water. Behold, one of the toughest jumps in the fortress. Okay, I'll come back to this in the future. Don't worry. Mr. Scardy knows all the weaknesses. Hammerman is weak to grape soda, Cinder Lady is weak to sappy love stories, and Arctic Man is weak to the cosmic eternity of space. So I need to rush search this platform. Gotcha. And due to the nature of the stage, I can easily farm up B-tanks. Is this the rematch stage? Well, it is. It's time for our time-honored tradition of sussing out. It's time for the time-honored fangame tradition of sussing out Roadmaster weaknesses. It's time for our time-honored tradition of sussing out weaknesses to continue. It can't be her own weapon. It's detonate, man. Oh, does it interrupt an attack? It does. Oh, that's wonderful. Not what I expected her weakness to be, but eh. Arctic Man. A fire weapon? No, of course not. It'd be funny if he was weak to carry of all things. It's a wave beam. I suppose it is superheated. Again, not what I expect, but I suppose it works best against this pattern. The Wrecking Beam. B-Man's weapon. Gladiator. Someone else was weak to detonation, so... Tremor Pulse? No? It's the kunai. I didn't think the kunai were armor piercing. Look at the background. The background's different this time around. That's a nice touch. The Coliseum audience is different this time around. That's a cool touch. B-Man. I'm not gonna try the buckler. Wow. Okay, let's take a moment to describe what happened. I teleported to the left side of the arena. B-Man grabbed me and chucked me off screen. Okay, let's take a moment to... Alright, let's take a moment to process what just happened. I teleported to the left side of the arena. B-Man grabbed me from the left... B-Man grabbed me from that side and chucked me outside the arena. That's amazing. GG. B-Man sent me to the bathrooms. No, that's hilarious. B-Man? Hello? Thanks for the easy fight. Somehow that completely broke his AI. B-Man's ultimate move. Cinder Lady. Water? Pretty much. The weapon from the water RM? Pretty much. Let me get refills outside the... Oh no! I'm invisible now! Don't worry, I'm visible. I regained my visibility. Ninja Man. The vertical weapon, so Shattered Diamond? Pretty much. The weapon that can be aimed vertically? Oh no, I'm invisible! Not to worry, going to the teleporter immediately fix that. Oh, it's called the Streamer's Curse Buster, that's what happened. Detonate Man, the shield? No? Maybe? That's 1 damage. It's cool ignition. Oh, excuse me, Tremor Man. Oh, excuse me, this is Tremor Man. It's cool ignition. Don't tell me. He suffers from Spark Mandrill Syndrome. It's called the Streamer's Curse Buster. He wasn't that bad last time, Mr. Scarday. It's only during the rematch. So by process of elimination, Detonate Man must be weak to the Buckler Barrage. Which, why is the explosive-based RM strong against... Why is the explosive-based RM strong against the barrier type? Why is the explosive-based Roadmaster strong against the shield-based one? I mean, sorry. Why is the shield-based Roadmaster strong against the... We're back here. We're back in the Cherry Soda. Why is the shield-based Roadmaster strong against the explosive one? That seems backwards. Why is the explosive-based Roadmaster strong against the... Why is the shield-based Roadmaster strong against the... Why is the shield weapon strong against the explosive-based Roadmaster? That seems backwards. I'm willing to forgive the other choices, but this one... kinda baffling. Aw, yeah! The Twin Head Machine. The Twin Head Wily Machine. The Twin Head Machine. Or the Honeymoon Machine, if you want to call it that. Ow. I got a rock to my head. It was a lightning rod. Beam Man loses by doing absolutely nothing. After celebrating his easy victory, he just gave up. I suppose Detonate Man is weak to Gladiator Man's weapon because... Duck and cover. That would be because explosions in this game can't pierce shields. That is weird. Alright. Dual Dragon Wily Machine, take 2. If I didn't know any better, I'd also call it the Honeymoon Machine. Okay, what is your weakness? No, seriously, what was I hitting earlier to deal damage? Oh, it's the heads themselves. I get it now, it's the heads themselves. Whenever I see the head do that, I expect it to try biting me. That... Okay. Whenever I see the... One moment. Whenever I see the head like that, whenever I see the head chewing like that, I expect it to try biting me, not drop a rock. Okay, sorry about that. Had to take care of some noise. It's Dragon's Dogma 2. One of the games I do wish to play on the channel eventually. Twin Dragon Machine Mach 2. Oh yeah, I keep flunking the I keep misunderstanding the telegraph. Get back down here, please. Yeah, that telegraph still catches me off guard. It's, a little bit tricky. Oh, I got all the Serenade letters. That's how. I see the resemblance, but I wouldn't compare it to SF3. That's a very different type of encounter. Alright. No more fooling around. I understand what to do now. Well, I dodged it. Oh. Time to use weaknesses. Time to dodge at the wrong time. Yep, Sylve. The one and only from Battle Network Trees in this game. The Toon Node can simultaneously be a decent weapon to absolutely bust it if you get the upgrade for it. Or if you use the upgrade on it. Alright. If you mash the side button, there's just enough time to get out of there. I'm gonna start using charge shots. Ooh, I got acided. I finally got the timing for that down. Phase 1 cleared. Show yourselves, twin scientists. Show yourselves, evil scientists. One piloting each eye. I have 90 tanks. I'm gonna spend all of them. I have 90 tanks. I'm gonna use all of them. Wait, can I stop them from using the jaw? I can. Can I stop them from using the jaw laser? Can I stop them from using the mouth laser? I can. GG. The only thing that remains is their capsule. Skulls and scales. I'm guessing she's into dragons. Not the easiest boss, but one of the easier ones. This echoes my earlier point that this... I knew it. Oh my, reverse gravity. Is this the intended way to go? Is this actually the intended way I'm supposed to go? Is this also where I get getting hit by everything? Okay, I want to make something point. This echoes my earlier point that this fortress is overall easier than the virus one. With the exception of Dawnbuckle, the bosses feel surprisingly easier. Need Rust Search to the right. But what's up here? Reverse gravity? Is this intended? No! Come back with my E-tank! Womp womp. Great. Anti-Eddie got a buff now. Great. Anti-Eddie now has... Anti-Eddie has a challenger now. So this is how you unlock the enemy bestiary. And the boss bestiary. That's an M-tank, I think. I don't need it right now. Let's rumble. Final boss time! The twin capsule! Ow, right into the drill. Oh, you can switch gravity too. Final boss time, the twin capsule. Or the Wily Weaseletta capsules. When I'm on the top, Wily attacks me. When I'm on the bottom, Weaseletta attacks me. When I'm on the top, Wily strike. One more try. So to get things straight, when I'm on the top, Wily attacks me directly, whereas when I'm on the bottom, Weaseletta attacks me directly. What? What did I get hit by there? That was a cheap shot. When I'm on the top, Wily tries attacking me directly, while I'm on the... So let's get things straight. When I'm on the top, Wily attacks me directly, whereas when I'm on the bottom, Weaseletta tries attacking me directly. I getcha. I'm gonna redo this because that was a little bit of a cheap shot. I appreciate they gave me an M-tank here, but I appreciate they gave me an E-tank. I appreciate they gave me a tank here. I appreciate they placed a tank there. I appreciate they placed a tank here, especially for the lesser skilled players. Wait, I can still home in. I wish the homing projectiles despawn once you switch to the other phase. Whoops. Didn't mean to hug you. You got hit by a smooth criminal. I can tell the gravity switch is coming based on the background. It does make that clear. And now I didn't pay enough attention. I looked at chat again. See? Like, there are many things I could criticize the game for. It not telling me when gravity swapping is happening, that's not one of them. It does tell me that. It could do with an audio cue, but it could do with a louder audio cue, but sure. The problem with having the entire background flash is it also distracts from the other two main hazards happening. The problem with making the background flash is then it becomes too distracting. Maybe just an audio cue would be better. Excuse me. The fact this homing projectile persists is, what makes it difficult? Ah, completely missed that. I can get about 3 shots in per cycle. Make that 4 if I time it right. Oh no. While he's going down first. While he's going down first. No, no, no. 'Cause I knew I was gonna take the hit. And before you ask, yes, I know I can use charge shots. I'm not gonna for this. It'll make the fight too easy. Self-imposed challenge and all that. And I like the game enough to at least give it some credence that way. One down. And I like the game enough to the point where I do want to give it its fair shake. Just 2 more. And I do like the game enough to give it a fair shake. Please do your stop move again. Thank you. Are we done here? Two of you? Question mark. I got you this time. Stand still, Megatwarp! Out of my way, old man! I'll be the one to destroy Mega Man! Headbutt. What? What are you doing? You fool! I don't know how you did it, but this is for TED! Oh no! Don't do that, man! You blew up the entire fortress by doing... You two blew up the entire fortress by doing that. You two blew up the entire fortress by doing that. And yet both of them escaped to see a new day. Right in front of Mega Man. Do your push-ups, Wily. And thus concludes my blind playthrough of the main game of Mega Man W. Yellow team. A louder sound effect for the final boss would be appreciated. A louder sound effect for that gravity sweep. A louder sound effect for the gravity swapping would be appreciated. The bickering is harder than Eggman versus Stat. This bickering is harder than Eggman versus Starline. And that's how Dr. Regal was born. 2 people in chat hated that. And thus concludes my blind playthrough of the main game of Mega Man W. An overall decent Mega Man Classic fan game. I'll provide my full toss in post and text, but I'll say this: this game certainly, but I'll put it this way: this game certainly has many flaws. This game certainly has many bugs and shortcomings, but the overall experience for me was more of a win than a dub. But the over... What? Huh? This is a playable outro Oh my gosh! This is a playable outro sequence. This is the first time I've seen this. Oh my goodness, this is a playable outro sequence. Fish on a Stick as the artist. That is incredible. This is the first time I've seen a Mega Man. This is the first time I've seen a Mega Man game. This is the first time I've seen a Mega Man game do this. Whether it be official or fan-made. There's my newbie. They even have custom sprite work too. Ah, sorry, not Vui. I mean Batty Tracks. Ooh, Delta also worked on the game. I'll continue my commentary in a moment. I will say this. You are tough. You're the toughest Zeos. You're the toughest Dr. Zeos. I want to say this. This game certainly has many bugs and shortcomings, but the overall package was more of a W than an L to me. No, I missed that. But the overall package is more of a W than an L to me. Congrats to you 8. Congrats to the Endless Contest winners. Congrats to the Endless Attack Contest winners. Oh darn, I missed the Easter egg. And many thanks. And more importantly, thank you all for making the game. I didn't play X Legacy Collection, Buster. And I forgot about CX because of everything. Job well done. Oh, just under 4 hours. Yeah, C rank seems fair. As I was saying, this game certainly has many bugs and shortcomings, but the overall package for me was more of a W than an L. Whoa, rockin' remix. Let it play out. How does this work? You got a higher score, Buster. You didn't die as much. Yeah, I didn't actually game over at all because I have infinite lives, but eh. Okay, some comments. This was more of a W than an L to me. Special mention for being the only fan game I know of that went for a 2. Special mention for being the only fan. Special mention for being the only fan game that I. Special mention for being the only Mega Man. Special mention for being the only Mega Man Classic fan game that I know of that went for the 2 Fortress twist. Although I will note that the first special mention goes to this one for being the only Mega Man Classic title I know, for being the only Mega Man Classic fan game I know of that went for a 2 Fortress twist. And the first Fortress being very unique. Way more, and the first one being very unique. Traveling deep into Mega Man's own mind, traveling deep into Mega Man's own digital systems. I dare say it was both more interesting and overall easier than the second one, the real Wily Castle. Stage design was okay to decent. Gimmicks and mechanics were introduced and escalated, but I never really felt they were. But for the most part, they mostly weren't really used to their. But they mostly weren't used to a sufficient potential. Boss fights were fun. Boss fights were enjoyable, but they could be a bit simplistic. The whole game, boss fights were enjoyable, but they could also be a bit simplistic. The weapon set was decent, but the Mega Buster was the weapon set was decent, but I wouldn't call it exactly strong. But that's just me. The game is balanced around having the base Mega Buster with no charge shots, and it shows. The vast majority of enemies aren't that durable, and even the boss fights allow. The vast majority of enemies aren't that durable. And the way the boss fights are designed allow for enough pauses where you can just pelt them. Where you can just keep pelting them with melons. Sorry, where you can keep pelting them with lemons. Where you can just keep pelting them with lemons. If anything, it feels like the damage table is a bit biased towards the player. As in almost everything deals 1 or 2 less points of damage than you think it will. That being said, there are some stage elements which were not ideal, like the way the force beams are introduced in Beam Man. And then we have the whole issue with the checkpoint density. And then we have the whole issue with checkpoint density. I dare say it, all the levels could do it. I dare say it, all the regular levels could do it one more checkpoint. I dare say it, all the levels could easily do it one additional checkpoint. Sans the final one because that's short enough. Sans the final one because that's short enough. It became really apparent in Maelstrom Woman and especially Virus Fortress 2. Why it became really apparent during Maelstrom Woman and Virus 2 that the lack of another checkpoint. It became apparent during Maelstrom. It became very apparent during Maelstrom, and especially Virus 2, and especially Virus 2, that the lack of a third checkpoint really hampered the stage flow. Really made the stages more punishing than they should be. The level design is. I want to emphasize, I didn't mind the level design of Virus 2. What I did mind was falling into spikes or an instant death pit and being sent back to the start of the stage. That was really annoying. As I was saying, the weapon set was decent, offering more utility and mobility options than your usual fare. I don't say the levels are exactly the worst part of the game. It's better than functional. I know, I don't agree with the toughest section being 5 screens in. They were closer to the end. No, I disagree, Buster. See, I see in 4 or 5, I'm more used to damage being higher, so keep that in mind. And keep in mind, this is also counterbalanced by the more frequent drop rate. See, here's the thing. When the damage being lower than expected, that's more of an observation, not a criticism. You could buff it by 1, but no more please, not without giving the charge shot. At the end game, sure, we got the damage charts at 5 or 6, especially during the final boss, but I'm willing to overlook that. And Ninja Man's kunais aren't random spam. Like, no more. I've seen more designers would place it at 5 or 6. 4 is about where I'd put it. Maybe 3 if I want to be a bit nicer. As for the weapon set, let's see. Maelstrom Absorber I used more for grabbing items from a distance. Wrecking Beam, aka Wave Beam, was amazing. Easily my favorite weapon in the game. Really just for its mobility purposes, and being able to phase right through enemies. Full Ignition was kind of underpowered, to be honest. I was hoping it pierced through guards, but apparently it doesn't, so even if it's spammable, I'd rather just use the Buster. Or the kunai. Kunai was a more spammable weapon, but with the upside/downside that when it hits a wall, you teleport to it. Which depending on the scenario could be a good thing or bad thing. It's gonna be a great thing for speedrunners. Minesweeper is what I expected the Coal Ignition to be more like. Good damage, decent ammo efficiency, and it never despawns. It's basically a better Surge Snake. Shattered Diamond is something that I thought would be more limited, but is basically the mini boss killer. Another weapon that will be better used by speedrunners. Tremor Pulse is their get out of jail free card if too many enemies are close to you. And finally, Buckler Barrage, the weapon that is a Buckler Barrage. The weapon gets screen should have properly explained. Functionally, it's a better Mirror Buster. being able to be aimed in 8 different directions, the deflected shots dealing more damage, and if you lose a shield, you temporarily gain iframes. And lastly was on top of that was the bonus serenade tone. It's basically the spam. It's essentially the true spam weapon of the game. 2 damage per shot, plenty of ammo, and you can have up to 8 shots on screen at a time. And you can have up to 8 shots simultaneously. And you can have up to 8 shots on screen simultaneously. And if you apply the upgrade to it, it pierces through guards. And if you apply the upgrade to it, it pierces through shields. It pierces through shields. My other big gripe about the game, other than the checkpointing and deficient level design at times, is the bugs. Last time I didn't encounter any bugs, but this time, oh my goodness, I was running into way more bugs left, right, and center. I don't know what happened. I'm chalking that up to streamer's curse. I tried the upgrade for Cole, it still wasn't powerful enough for me. Let's see. Arena Master. What are core cores? Darn it, I missed one person. And a unique enemy? Oh my gosh, weird guy. That's the harpy? Oh, I never got grabbed by the crab. Read the optional cutscene and C-roll. Let's take a look at the CDs. Let's take a look at the CDs now. I'm missing 28 of them. One sneeze. Oh my gosh. That's a brick joke. I understand that, Minubi. I want to make something very clear, and I made it clear at the start. This is being developed by fans, so I'm not going to expect this to have the same level of quality as the official titles. That would be foolish of me. And I'll say this, outside of one bug, it never really killed me. And most of the time they were funny. How do you get Zenny? Double trouble. So I did miss some stuff in the last 2 fortresses. Enemy bestiary. Right, I need to capture them before I can do that. Let's check out Otto's bio. Oh, that's some pretty detailed bio. No, I want to... hang on. Let me read the bio, please. Okay. I'll take that as a yes. So there's 2 things left to do in this game. I can do the challenge mode if I really want to. But I'm gonna save that for its own. Oh my gosh. They literally named it after that user. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of them. I'm missing one, however. I'm gonna save the challenges and end this attack for their own time. These menus are made for the mouse. Oh. Okay, that explains it. I was wondering why wasn't it allowing me to scroll. This is why. It even counts with development notes. That is okay, that's impressive. Why are you that? Yeah, no one's sacred. Okay, props for putting the development notes inside the BIOS. That's wonderful. Even including the development images. I wish well, they did start doing that too. So, quick question. How do you unlock rogue mode? Is it time trial? Get 50 screens on endless. I can do that. Very well then. I'm gonna give my full toss in this game in post and text. And before that, I'll be covering the challenges. I'm gonna be covering the challenges, endless attack. I'm gonna be covering the challenges, endless attack, and the roguelike mode. The latter is the one I'm most interested in. The latter is the one that I'm most interested in. But that'll be coming in the future. Will I stream this game again? Maybe. I'm not gonna 100% it, but I do want to at least sample these modes. Keep in mind though, the stream isn't done yet. I'm gonna be taking a short pause and then move over to Mega Man 11. Which... yeah, I'm not gonna do a comparison to that. I like that game more than this one, but I like that game more than most fan games. Would you like to see... Now, I want to end off on this point. Despite my many issues with this title... Oh, I just want to get back to the title screen, but okay. I'll attach it later. So, despite my issues with this title... For the 4.5 hours I spent on this game, I enjoyed it. For the 4.5 hours for the 4 hours I spent on this title, I enjoyed my time with it. So, I'll end up on this point. For the 4 or so hours I spent on this fan game, I enjoyed my time with it. There were several pain points, sure, but they usually never lasted too long. And I know for a fact Virus 2 is going to get some necessary checkpointing. Enough people are complaining about it, so it's most likely going to get that. In any case, thank you for watching, and I'll be back in a few minutes for 11. And last point, you already several steps ahead of the usual crowd by going through the enormous effort of, or relatively enormous effort of working together and making your own fan game. A fan game that is from start to finish complete, and not just work in progress or in the ideas phase. Talk is cheap. Ideas are cheap. The design phase is more expensive, but still, like, ideas are a dime a million. Actually implementing the ideas to completion, that is the hard part. And you made it to the finish line. Even if you have stumbled along the way many times, you still made it, so many props for that. So no matter how much how harsh I felt or some weird things I commented on, you still won it. You would still at least pass the goal. Oh yeah, and also the engine is and the engine is mostly solid. Oh, they eventually want to release the engine to the public. That's wonderful. Sorry, I wanted to check one last thing. I think the design of Rock and Roll was tighter. It was tighter feeling. This one feels a little bit looser feeling, but I need to consult myself for that. I think this is the better engine though. Although I will recommend please add a 4 times resolution modifier for those who don't want to play in full screen but have high resolution monitors like me. Do what Maker does, please. 4 times, maybe in 5 times. And the last thing I want to add for Maker would be analog stick support. I know, it's kind of strange asking for analog stick support, but Maker has it. Even the latest Mega Man Classic games have that. I just find it easier to control Mega Man over it's less a sore for my left hand for controlling Mega Man if it's an analog stick. I switch a D-pad for the precise movements. I see, but they couldn't get it. Honestly, I think I like they went for Dagger Man more digital. No, we're just about starting for 11. Just give me a few minutes. One more minute. Alright. Shall we do this? There are plenty of brain rot memes to talk about. I mean, yeah, I haven't even commented on the current day. I'm surprised a few of you didn't already. I don't care right now. I want to play the game. Alright, there are two ways I can show this. I'm gonna shift between the game screen and the chat like this, but I'm gonna prefer putting the game screen over this. This is not like Sage. Alright. I'll move to the title screen in a moment to restart, but for a moment, give me this. A 1, a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do this. So, time for a brief history lesson. If it shows up. So last week I covered Mega Man 10. Whose reception was at the time kind of mixed. Critics liked it, but the fans, or at least the populace, public, gamers, it didn't quite hit as well. The situation got worse a bit later because, okay, some history. Because a few months later, or was it a month later, on October 2010, series producer Inafune departed from Capcom for a variety of reasons, which we won't get into here, resulting in the cancellation of Universe, Maverick Hunter, and Legends 3. The last one was the most painful one. Without anyone to fill in the role of series producer, the franchise entered a hiatus period for about 8 years, with the only new official titles being cameos or collections. I'm not counting Street Fighter Cross Mega Man, that's a fan game. I don't know what Capcom was thinking. Oh, what happened in the chat? I don't know. I'm gonna put it off screen for now, but I will put it up in between levels maybe. I will still respond. So yeah, as a Mega Man fan, it would be one thing if Classic entered hiatus, but it was the entire franchise. As a Mega Man fan, the only recourse was playing the older titles, or, as I did, filling the gap with fan games. But hope returned, as on December 4, 2017, our hopes were reignited with the announcement of 11, and next year, the game was fully released to wide acclaim. Not only that, the game actually learned from its predecessors in obvious and not so obvious ways, which is something I've been complaining about ever since the NES era, and implemented an engaging new major mechanic that meshes well with pretty much everything. As such, this is my favorite Classic entry. I'm gonna disagree with Jedok. It will, at best, Street Fighter Cross Mega Man was decidedly mid. I get what they're trying to do it, but it's some of the weaker fan games. Yeah, we'll talk about that later, Buster, because after the game's release, we did get good collections, sure, but no new titles, except Dual Override, which is nice, but Dual Override eventually, but oh yeah, also Rockman X5, which is sure. So okay, we did get one quote-unquote new game. Emphasis on quote-unquote. But yeah, the series is kind of in hiatus now, sort of, but we're actually getting collections, so it makes up for that. And heck, they put way more effort into Star Fox Legacy Collection than I expected them to, so that's already a plus. Yeah, no one really cares. Yeah, this is... Yeah, if you want to know about how people care, if you want a game that people care even less for, ask how many people have heard about or even know of X Over. Oh, forget care about, even know. Alright, let's restart the game so you can actually see the introductory sequence. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go! Loading, please do not turn off your PC. 30th year of Mega Man. Voice acting.
I strongly believe Albert's research must stop.
Light! We can't build the future on your empty optimism.
Say what you will, I cannot agree to this. Please listen.
Listen.
You listen to this! At every turn you've ignorantly blocked my research!
Mr. Wiley, control yourself. I see the committee is in agreement. And so, the department chooses Thomas Light's research into robots with independent thought. Thank you, everyone.
Why are you fools so blind?
Young Light and Young Wily.
One day, Light. One day the world will know I was right all along. Memories make the worst dreams. A genius of mine.
I love the skull pajamas.
To keep his brain in gear. Wait. That research from my youth. Yes.
I love the
Now
skull
I'll show you
pajamas.
light.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Etterville, and welcome to my playthrough of Mega Man 11. After an 8-year series hiatus, Capcom returned with this grand title. And by far, this is my favorite of the classic entries. As in obvious and not so obvious ways, the developers actually learned from the previous games. The year is 20XX. At the laboratory of Thomas Slide, father of modern robot society, many hardworking robots have arrived for their annual maintenance checkup.
All systems nominal.
After an 8-year series hiatus, Capcom returned to grace us with this grand title.
Well, I can hear the construction yard calling. Block out.
And this is by far my favorite classic entry, as not only as it improves on the series in both obvious and not so obvious ways. Something I've complained about since the NES era.
Oh, brother, there's no end to him. Doc, how about giving your favorite assistant a break?
I don't need a break, Otto.
Fingers.
Now for a robot, you sure do complain a lot. Now let's crank it up a gear.
Otto's pouting.
Oh, I ain't a machine. I mean, I am, but still.
Mr. Torchman, please proceed to the... earthquake!
Not Earthquake Man.
What on earth? Rogue, Otto, hurry to me!
You mean what on Sky?
Splendid to see you again, Light.
Wiley!
Doctor, what's going on? Stand back, everyone. I'll handle this.
Hit him with the plunger.
Man,
This is no time for your heroic.
Hit him with the broom.
I've simply come to give Dr. Light a message.
then kindly be quick about it.
Of course. You see, I recalled some old research. The very invention you so coldly crushed when we were students together. Or has your memory failed you?
Our university did.
I've played Maker. That broom is scary.
It can't be.
Oh, but it can! Your objections wouldn't stifle me forever. I have perfected my design. And now we'll see who was right all along.
Dr. Light, what's the ruckus?
Perfect timing. The lot of you will make excellent test subjects.
Wow! Who are you calling a test subject?
Quickly, you must all run and hide.
Too late. Speed gear.
My robots.
Over here, Light.
That speed. What have you done?
Dang it! Nobody blocks Block Man! Let those robots go, Dr.
Sorry, you've been blocked.
I have a better idea.
Sorry, you've been Wily blocked.
The world will bow down to the genius of Dr. Wily.
Doctor, I'll go after Wily.
Wait, Mega Man. Wily's invention is called the double gear system. It's designed to push robots far beyond their normal strength and speed. If he really has completed it, I'm afraid you won't stand a chance.
But we can't just let him get away.
Mega Man, I can tell you won't be stopped. Very well. This is the prototype double gear system that Wily developed back at Robot University. If I install this into your circuits, you may be able to stop him. But it's dangerous. Double gear places great strain on robot systems.
I can take it, Doctor. I want to do this no matter the cost. Hook me up.
As you wish. The installation will take some time. There's a lot of work to do.
What is this?
Double gear system is fully installed. Mega Man, rise and shine.
Go get him, Mega Buddy! And remember, your old pal Otto is here to help out.
Mega Man, that dirty Wily won't know what hit him.
Mega Man, you're doing a noble thing. Be careful out there.
Doctor, roll. Otto, I'll be back soon.
What is this? Actually a good... Before I continue, 2 notes. One, I agree with Mr. Scarde. The focus on Wily and Light's childhood in this game for the narrative... The focus on Wily and Light's earlier days for the narrative, brilliant idea. As a matter of fact, this game kind of also acts like a soft reboot to the series, without really rebooting anything. It makes it easier for newcomers to get into the title. And second, good voice acting? What is this? Have we entered an alternate universe? And second, good voice acting? What is this? Did we enter an alternate universe? I know. XA and Maverick Hunter came before this, and they had, at best, good voice acting as well. But for the classic series, this is the first game which I would dare say has consistently good voice acting. And before you ask Powered Up was the logical step before this. I think that had decent voice acting, but that it was important. Powered Up needed to exist for this. Powered Up needed to walk for this to run. I'm gonna say that. Oh yeah, number 3. Shoutouts to the single drumstick in the microwave. And bonus number 3. Shoutouts to the single drumstick in the microwave. Welcome to Mega Man 11. Welcome to my full playthrough of Mega Man 11, The Gears of Fate. Your explanation of double gear system? Certainly. Press B to activate speed gear. Press B to activate the speed gear. You move so fast that everything else seems slow. Press Y to activate the power gear. Charge your buster to unleash even more power. Let's try it out. All good. No, I'm good. Block Man, Acid Man, Blast Man, Bounce Man, Tundra Man, Impact Man, and Torch Man. I'll start off by going after Fuse Man. Excuse me. Let's check my controls just to make sure. Good. Alright. Block Man, Acid Man, Blast Man, Bounce Man, Tundra Man, Impact Man, Torch Man, and Fuse Man. These are starting 8 Roadmasters.
The reactor's running unusually well today.
Oh, nice. Cheaper.
For fewer bolts than usual.
Let me return to the title screen because of a slight issue. My controls are offset a bit. It's fine. I can save load. Start. Load. Fuse Man, Block Man, Acid Man, Blast Man, Bounce Man, Tundra Man, Impact Man, and Torch Man. I'll start off by going after Fuse Man. Here's the thing, Sylv, that's one of the tougher stages, so I'm not going to go to that first. And wait. My sliding and charge shots are back. Thank goodness. My sliding and charge shots are back. Thank goodness. I missed you so much. My sliding and charge shots are back. I missed you so much. And more importantly, the game is bounced around having them. Ah, first hit from the drone. And this is... Okay, I can't get through... I can't hit that wall blaster. So one new addition to the charge shot for the... So one new addition to the charge shot is they can break through enemy guards. So one new addition to the charge shot is they can break through enemy guards, at least temporarily. So even more reasons to use it. I'm going to be using the gear system throughout this playthrough. It is a major new mechanic of the game, and it's integrated fairly well into everything. I have beaten this game on superhero before, but for the sake of beating this playthrough in a consistent amount of time, I'll say I have beaten the game on superhero mode in the past, but for the sake of this playthrough, but for the sake of beating this game within 2 hours, I'll save for its own time. Goodbye, mid-boss. Every stage now has one of them. Doggy. Rush is assigned to a shortcut now. You don't need to explicitly switch to them. You don't have to explicitly switch to them anymore. Impact Man has a better weapon. Impact Man has a better mobility weapon, sure, but he's one of the tougher starting stages. That's why I save him for later. Hello, big guy. Well, that didn't work as I intended. Well... When I'm at low health, I can use both gears at the same time as a last-ditch effort to survive. Hopefully I won't have to do so. Made it to the end without dying. I'm probably gonna perish the fuse man though. I think this is better than next aid for various reasons, but anyways, let's fight. Right, shock hurts me. I get a discount on the weekend. If I'm at low health, I can use the double gear critical technique. If I'm at critical health, I can activate the double gear special technique, which allows me to use both gears at the same time for a last ditch effort. So yes, Mega Man can turn red. Yeah, X8 also has guard break. Hardest part of the fight is the first phase, of course.
High voltage. Spear. Charge. Shout. Charge. Spear. Switch on.
And he switches using 2 at a time.
Live wire. Stay down. Live wire. Rewired. Shout. Charge. Spear. Shout.
Gotcha!
Short circuit.
Of course, the hardest part of the fight is the first phase. But at half held along with the other, but at half held alongside the 7 other, bosses, they start using their gear. They start using their gear for a critical attack. They start using their gear for a series of critical attacks. In this case, Fuseman uses the speed gear. 4 have the speed gear, the other 4 have power. By defeating him, I get the Scramble Thunder. And would you look at that? The series has introduced an innovation to the weapon get screen, an actual playable demonstration, as well as an on-screen description of how it works. It took 20 years, but we finally have gotten it. Alright, choose my destiny now. And would you look at that? After 20 years, we have a major new innovation to the weapon get screen. An actual playable demo. An actual playable demo alongside a written description of what the weapon does. Alongside a written description of what it does. It took... Why did it take so long? Beats me. But this is one of the things... Why did it take so long? Beats me. But this is so great. But this is such a great addition. I'm surprised it took so long. But beats me. Now you don't need to worry about. Now you don't have to go out in the field and test. Now you don't have to go out into the field and test it yourself. Now you don't have to go into the field yourself and test it out. Here you have a free playground to use it with infinite energy. Here you have a free playground to test it out with full energy. Here you have a playground to test it out with full energy. Here you have access to a playground to test it out while always having. Here you have access to a playground to test it out while always having full energy. It took 20 years, but we got it. Acid Man? Acid Man, you say? Sure. By defeating him, I get the Scramble Thunder. It's a ground... Mini spiders. If you don't destroy them with a charged weapon, they release small spiders. If you don't destroy them with a charged shot, they release the small ones. If you don't destroy them with a charged weapon or explosive, they always release the mini spiders. At half health, every boss starts using a series of critical attacks. At half health, every boss starts using a series of critical attacks. At half health, every boss activates their gear. At half health, every boss starts activating their gears for a series of critical attacks. Oh, I missed. Fine, you can be my test subject. At half health, every boss... Oh, I want that. Goodbye. Shocking, isn't it? At half health, every boss has a... At half health, every boss activates either the power or speed gear for a series of critical attacks. 4 of them have access to the power... 4 of them have power, Four of them have power, the other 4 have... 4 of them have speed... 4 of them have power, the other 4 have speed... 4 of them have power, the other 4 have speed. Free tank? I mean, free extra life? Sure. They gave me these gears. I'm gonna take full advantage of them. I am not gonna be using the gears in most of the boss fights, however. I'm not gonna be using the gears against the RMs, though. It makes the game a bit too easy. I am not going to be using the gears against the regular bosses. It makes them too easy. Like, if I use the power gear against this... Like, if I used the power gear against the sewer cleaner, it would have been done half a minute ago. It would have been destroyed it would have been scrapped half a minute ago. The remnants of the Metul junk, the scrap Metuls and the acid. I like how the stage transitions, starting from the regular acid to the yellow one to the red one. No. Perfect. Now or ow. I like how the stage transitions. I like how the stage transitions with the liquid. I like how the stage transitions with the Ow! I slipped off the edge. First death. I like how the stage transitions with the liquids, beginning with the safe blue one, to the yellow, beginning with the safe blue one to the yellow to the red, and then finally the acid itself, and finally the green acid itself. Beginning with the safe blue to yellow. Beginning with the safe blue to the more hazardous yellow to the last stage red, then finally to the full-on acid. Yeep, that was close. For being the water stage of the game, it does go for a little bit less non-conventional take on it. For being the de facto water stage of the game, I appreciate how it goes for a less conventional take on the idea. Instead of traveling through water, we're traveling through acid. Where instead of traveling through regular water, whereas instead of traveling through water, we travel through deadly acid. Whereas instead of traveling through water, we instead travel through volatile chemicals. Where instead of wading through water, we wade through hazardous chemicals. Lemon juice, strawberry, lime. Take out the shield. Acid Man I actually tend to find one of some of the tougher bosses. I know some will say no, he's easy. No, I never really found him easy. You need to learn to time the jumps. I love how the hitbox allows you to do that. Get ready, go, go, go. And I never lose my charge shot upon taking a hit, so goodbye. Chemistry! And I appreciate the different take, and I appreciate the more... This is the de facto water stage of the game, and I appreciate the game went... This is the de facto water stage of the game, and I appreciate they went for... And I appreciate they went for a more non-conventional take. Instead of wading through water, I got a new weapon, the acid barrier. The regular version can fire projectiles and... The regular version can fire projectiles and destroy enemy ones. The charged one, on the other hand, it can also destroy enemies themselves. Instead of wading through water, we wade through dangerous chemicals. We travel through dangerous chemicals. The regular version allows you to fire. The regular version creates a barrier which destroys enemy. The regular version creates a barrier which destroys enemy projectiles and also allows you to fire your own arcing ones, and also allows you to fire your own acid ones. The regular version creates a barrier which. The regular one creates a barrier which destroys enemy projectiles and also allows you to fire your own ones. The powered up version does all that, but also allows the barrier to destroy enemies themselves. The powered up version does all that, but also allows you to destroy. The powered up version does all that, but also allows you to destroy all enemies as well. The powered up version also does that, but also allows it to destroy enemies as well. And I should actually save. The powered up version does all that, but also allows it to destroy enemies as well. You know what? Let's pay a visit to Dr. Light's lab while you vote. Burst had more original ideas, but this stage blows it out of the water. No pun intended. Now, before I go there, let's pay a visit to the light shop.
Ah, Mega Man! I've made a breakthrough! I can now create new items for you.
Nice.
Okay, Mega, are you sure?
Yes, please.
Ta-da! Already! Good luck out there.
We got the regular tanks, Super Guard, Beat Call, Eddy Call. I didn't mean to do that.
Running unusually well today. We can create items for fewer bolts than usual.
So, a strange feature of the game, if you're playing this over the weekend, items are cheaper.
Hey, Mega.
Yo, Mega!
Energy Balancer,
Doing some parts?
Auto Charge Chip, Buster Plus Chip, Shock Absorber, Spike Boots, really only useful for 2 levels, Buddy Call Plus, Tank Container, and a Mystery Chip.
Okay, Mega. What'll it be?
Yo, Mega!
I
This is what you want, bud?
I want the Energy Balancer,
Have it. Part complete.
and sure, let's get the Auto Charge Chip.
And there you have it. Part complete.
Saves my tums a little bit.
What'll... Are you sure?
And 1 more extra life for good measure.
Already.
An Acid Man stage sure has a lot of chemistry between its gimmicks and enemies. That's true for most levels in this game. And I haven't even gone into how smartly the special weapon weaknesses are integrated into the stages themselves. And I haven't even gone into how the special weapon weaknesses are factored into the stages themselves, are factored into the stage design themselves, are factored into the stage design themselves, are factored into the stage design itself. Let's see, blast, blast, bounce, blast, torch, blast. Let's blast off. I don't have any weaknesses right now, but I can manage. Last Man Adventure. Fire sets off the explosives. Welcome to a movie set. Feel the explosion. Welcome to the backstage of a movie set. Those are just like the Shocker Comet. These mini enemies are just like the Comet. These mini enemies remind me of the Comet. These mini boss remind me of the Shocker Comet men. These mini explosive boss remind me of the Shocker Combat Mets. As a demonstration. Oh look. I'm surprised it took this long, but after, what is it, 10 games? I'm surprised it took this long, but after 10 games, the Sniper Joe armors would make a return. Lol. These mini explosive bots remind me of this Combat Man. I don't think I can reach that W tank right now. Nope. Time for one of the trickier mid-bosses. Oh. These mini explosive bots... Here they come. These mini explosive bots remind me of the Shocker Combat Men. It's probably a deliberate reference. Or Shocker Soldiers, to be specific. Or more specifically, the Shocker Soldiers. This went a lot better this time. In practice, I struggled against them. A demonstration of how useful the Power Gear Acid Shield is. A demonstration of how useful the Power Gear Acid Barrier is. A demonstration of how useful the powered acid barrier is. What? That hurts. Okay. Well, there goes my barrier. I'm surprised it took this long for the sniper armors to make their return. It's been what, 10 games? The backstage of an action movie set. As I was saying, those explosive mini bots remind me of the Shocker Soldiers or Shocker Combat Men. Probably deliberate as Toku. Probably deliberate because Tokusatsu. Oh, it's better. Oh, it's better. Oh, it's better, gamer man. Namely, as you have a powered up version. Namely as you can use a powered up version which destroys enemies on contact. I have this new mechanic, I'm gonna make full use of it. I have this cool new mechanic, I'm gonna make full use of it. Outside the Roadmasters, but that's because I don't want to completely wreck the fight. Oh, whoops. Yeah, hang on. I keep trying to just disable the power gear. Instead, what I accidentally do is switch off the weapon itself. That's the misinput Buster keeps talking about. No! I wasn't paying enough attention. I thought that was safe ground. Can we abuse Blastman's weapon? I mean, it's a good weapon, of course I'm gonna be using it. I'm so used to other Mega Man games where to swap off of something you use the quick weapon switch, but it's different here. Yeah, this is a really tricky one to perform. Regular. I'm playing on regular difficulty. I'm playing on normal difficulty. The explosions can actually harm other enemies. This is also a rather tricky place for that, whatever they're called. In you go. Still jump kicked me in the face. Alright, let's go, let's go. I did it the fast way, but even if you're a little bit too slow, there's a fallback. But even if you're a little bit too slow, there's still a fallback.
I've got a pretty short fuse.
There's even an amusement park in the background. Explosions are art! Should have kept sliding. I got close enough.
Time to begin the countdown. What's wrong? Don't be a dud.
If I was a superhero, I wouldn't really see any of these collectibles, but it's counterbalanced by how many bolts you get. Like, I've played the game on superhero before. I'm just not playing it here because I want to beat the game in a reasonable amount of time. It's like 10's hard mode, but designed better. Goodbye. Can I also say I really appreciate how there's less delays in between the boss spawning in and the boss destroying. There was always a bit of empty. There was always a short period of dead air just before the boss showed up, and there was always a few periods of empty air during the. There was always a few periods of empty. There was always a few periods of waiting for the. By defeating him, I got a new weapon, the Chain Blast. And the full power version is just, yeah, complete destruction. Can I also say I love how they smoothed out the boss intros and outros? Before, there was always several pauses during the whole boss cycle. One word, it always went, you enter a room, wait for the boss to descend or appear, wait for the health bar to fill up, and then the boss fight starts. Here the boss health bar starts filling up immediately as you. Here the boss health bar starts filling up almost immediately as you enter the room, while they're appearing. They say their catchphrase, and then the fight begins. And then after you destroy them, the victory team starts playing. The victory team starts playing as the orbs are fanning out. The victory team starts playing almost immediately as the orbs are fanning out. It's way smoother. I want to comment on this. I haven't really commented on the level design as much because I've been focusing more on the action, but let me tell you, this is some of the best level design I've seen in the classic franchise. I've always criticized... I've always talked about how even if there's creative uses of mechanics and gimmicks introduced in a level, they are never realized to a sufficient potential. That's no longer a problem here. Or they're used more as set pieces. Or they're more used as set pieces. That is no longer a problem here. Some stages focus more on the basic iteration of mechanics, whereas others focus more on the set pieces, while still making good use of the mechanics. Last Man was more of the latter. Fuse Man is more of the former. Time to figure ski. Let's freeze our socks off. Fine, let's freeze our socks off. And I do have Tundraman's weakness, but I'm not going to be making use of it. Bye, Crunched On or Pressed On. I do have Tundraman's weakness, but I'm not going to be using it. It makes the stage a little bit too easy. It makes the stage a little bit too easy. It makes the fight a little bit too easy. Come on, Spine. And despite being the ice stage of the game, this is actually a good candidate for first level. And despite being an ice level with slippery... And despite being an ice level with slippery ground... And despite being an ice level with slippery ground and wind physics... And despite being an ice level with slippery ground and ice physics, it's actually a good candidate for first stage. It's actually a good candidate for first level. It's actually a good candidate for first level. And despite being an ice stage with slippery ground and wind physics, this is actually a good candidate for first stage. No thanks. We'll be seeing the bunny boss again. Don't you worry. Punishing you for trying to speedrun it too much. Okay, mid-boss time. Frozen Mammoth Tingy. Ow. Mini-bosses and bosses share their Mini-bosses and bosses share weaknesses. Mini-bosses and bosses share weaknesses. As a matter of fact, even the stage shares a weakness, because one thing I've observed about this game that I haven't seen most players talk about is how the weakness for the stage boss is also one of the best weapons to use for that same level. Come on. Rush, rush. No, darn it. Bad dog. Thank you. W tank is mine. One thing I've observed many players don't talk about is how the weakness for a Reward Master is also one of the best weapons to use in their particular level. Take for example this one. The Scrambled Thunder works very well against most of the enemies here due to being mostly ground locked. It's not the best for every place, but it does come in handy. It's not the best in every place, but it really comes in handy in a few. It's not the best in every place, but it really comes in handy. It's not the best for every location, but it really comes in handy in a few rooms. But it really comes in handy in most rooms. Take for example this one. But it really comes in handy in a few rooms. Take for example this one. Alright, hardest room of the stage. And die because and perish immediately because I'm more used to the timings from fangames, where when the wind starts up, it immediately starts pulling you forwards. Joy. I mean, I like the ice physics here as well. I mean, to be fair, most of them are better anyways. Sorry, I'm so used to the timings from fan games. Sorry, I'm more used to the timings. Sorry, I'm so used to the timings from. Sorry, I'm so used to the timings from other games and fan games where once the wind starts up, it immediately starts pushing you forwards or back. It immediately starts pushing you. You have to wait a second or two for it. You have to wait a second or two here. And yeah, I know it does speed you up, but that also results in tricky things like this happening. Ice physics to work well, and at the same time, this is part of the reason why, although this may be a good candidate for first level, it can also be a bit of a pain point. And the solution to that is just to use speed gear. Slide, slide, slide. Really, there's only 3 stages which I don't recommend going through first. Really, there's only 2 stages which I don't recommend going through first. Unfortunately, that did not delete the projectile. Really, there's only 2 stages which I don't recommend going through first. Torch and Impact. Unless you've already played the game before. Okay. Now go. No, 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 no. Well, I completely missed both of them. I guess I'll be paying a visit to the shop then. Robo Dinosaur in the background. I see you're mimicking Freeze Man. He's a figure skater. GG. In contrast with his somewhat tricky level, his fight is the easiest, even on Superhero. Love the Robo Dinosaur skeleton in the background. Straight callback to Freeze Man. Even the fight himself kind of reminds me of Freeze Man. He's a figure skater after all. I got the Thunderstorm. Basically the screen clearing weapon of the game. Cutscene.
Doctor, is something wrong?
The double gear system.
Basically the screen clearing weapon of the game.
Long ago. It was on that day, Wily and I had our falling out. He quite literally threw a wrench in our gears.
But Tish.
We were students then, each pursuing robotics research in our own way. Each of us was passionate about forging the way ahead. To a future where humans and robots might live together in harmony. By giving robots independent thought, they can be true partners to humankind at last.
Naive as always. Even robots that think for themselves will never be anything more than tools. But with unstoppable power, insurmountable speed, It's only when we build robots with the power to outdo humans that people will truly accept robots for what they are. And with my double gear system, we can make that dream a reality. With this installed, any robot can instantly become a hero.
Man, imagine an AU where Light is instead the one who goes evil.
To Wily's ideas and research.
Man, imagine an AU based on this Man, imagine an AU based on this Man, imagine an AU based on his backstory, where instead Lai is the one who becomes the megalogical villain. Man, imagine an AU based on his backstory, where Dr. Light is the one who goes down the path of evil, becomes a mad scientist.
Since then. How ironic that my efforts to quench Wily's hot-headedness before it led him astray only ended up fueling the fire.
To be fair, Light back then was kind of a jerk.
I never knew.
If only I'd shown him there was a way to work together, instead of just telling him that he was wrong. Maybe we'd still be friends.
Why would it be a time paradox?
To work together.
I just said alternate universe.
Even the double gear system can be a tool for good, if used properly. But using it properly requires proper judgment. Wily's dream of developing technology to make any robot into a hero could become reality if used by you. I'm trusting you, Mega Man. Oh, I almost forgot something very important. I've just finished giving Rush a good tune-up. He's all ready to head out with you. Rush! Rush, help Mega Man and keep him safe. Be a good boy now.
He already has.
We've got this, Rush.
Mega Man is
Okay, let's go.
thumbs up. Sure. I actually ran out of buttons in my controller, so I had to assign it to my keyboard. 4 down, 4 left to go. It's been 20 years, yet we still can't pet Rush, or Tango, or Beat, or Eddie. Come on, Capcom. You know, it's kind of funny saying this, but I understand both Young Light and Young Wily's positions on this. You know, it's kind of funny saying this, but I understand both Young Light and Young Wily's positions on this, and how Young Light could have handled it better. Mega Man is basically the perfect fusion of both of their ideas. And as I was saying, imagine an alternate universe of this backstory where instead of Wily, Lai is the one who goes mad scientist, trying to control the production of robots and the world by extension. You never explained how is a time paradox, Genok. I want last time I'll emphasize this point. In addition to the mini boss and boss of a level sharing a weakness, that same weapon tends to be one of the best weapons to use. That same weapon tends to be one of the best ones to use in that same particular level. Take this one for example. Scrambled Thunder works wonderfully for most screens. I'm reading into this more, Buster, but I have a feeling that Light did not. Things were building up at the scenes with the hot-headed rivalries, and Light should have taken his words more carefully. But even Light agrees to that point. So details. And keep in mind, despite everything we're talking about, that doesn't justify everything Wily did afterwards, going down the path of megalomaniacal villain. That doesn't justify taking over the world. Like, despite disagreeing or agreeing with that point, it still doesn't justify Wily's actions, past, present, and future. But
Mega Man!
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'll need all these. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Already. Are you sure?
Yes. Nope.
The reactor's running on
Okay, Mega.
I got it.
Yo, Mega.
Energy Bouncer Neo. Of course I want that.
What you want, buddy? And there you have it. Part complete.
I don't have the cooling chip yet, do I?
Mega, what'll it be?
Yo, Mega. Can I interest you in some parts?
They're more likely to hit enemies, but I don't have trouble hitting enemies. The double gear technique is awesome, but it really should be safe for speedrunners.
Okay, Mega, what'll it be? Are you
Fine.
sure? Ta-da! Already. Are you sure? Ta-da! Already. Good. Are you sure? Are you sure? Ta-da!
2,
Already. Are you sure?
grab a W tank,
Are you sure? Ta-da!
and I'll save the rest for later.
Good luck out there, Mega.
But putting everything aside, if you were to count it, like Wily was being way over enthusiastic with what he was pushing. Like, I need to make something clear. Despite me saying that Light should have been had more tact with this whole situation, and not justifying Wily's later actions, Wily was being a bit too idealistic with giving robots that much power. I can already think of a bunch of nightmare scenarios. Giving that much power to untested machinery. IRL definitely, plot-wise, And in the end, both of them were technically fighting to give robots more influence. Light's way was true humanity. Wily's way was by giving them more power. Anyways, save first. I'm probably gonna have to beat the game next week, but I'm gonna do as much as I can today. To Torchman, it's time to suffer. Of the 8 RMs, his is by far the hardest level. Campsite ahead. Beware of jumping bunnies. Surprise bunny. Of all the 8 starting RMs, of the 8 RMs, his stage is by far the hardest one. Oh, pff. Take that. Oh boy, here it comes. The main reason why this stage is so difficult. Fine, going down here. And here is the main reason why this stage is so difficult. The raging firewall chasing us from side to side. The raging firewall chasing me from side. The raging firewall chasing me. The The raging firewall of death chasing me. The raging firewall of death chasing me. With the thunderstorm, this is no problem because I can easily freeze it. But if you don't have it, oof. I saw you hiding in the bush there, Flaming Chicken. I love the background details. Got extinguished, eh? I love the background details of these. I love the background details in these stages. Look at the Met campfire in the background. Look at the Mets. Look at the Met tools camping out in the background. It's adorable. Time for part 2. If you don't have this special weapon, well, it's gonna be a bit difficult. Hang on. Can I get that still? I can. Thank you. I botched it, I had to use it. This is perfectly doable without the use of the speed gear. This is perfectly doable without the use of the speed gear. This is perfectly doable without the use of the speed gear or Arctic wall. And if only I had the pile driver. Oh, wait. Hang on. Could I... Hang on. Yeah, I can. Off. This is perfectly doable without the use of the speed gear or thunderstorm. Oh shoot. Huh, didn't get knocked off the edge. Nice. Haha. Rush. Thank you, boy. Final section coming up. This is perfectly doable without the use of the thunderstorm or speed gear. But I don't recommend it if it's your first time in. One moment. My chat's fallen behind. While he may be petty, destructive, and evil, but ultimately he's not malicious, for now. And him being an idealist is similar to Light. And him being an idealist is similar to Light's own naivety in a way. True. I mean, malicious in the sense of. I think what Garde was trying to say, malicious. I mean, he's not trying to kill people. He is doing wanton destruction, sure, but he's not going for outright killing people. Now, before you ask, yes, he's probably killing people from the wanton destruction, but it's one stage above. It's more from killing from not caring versus killing from, I want those people to die. But details. While he's still getting a millionaire's prison sentence. I say that still, but a bunch of people refuse to use the gear system or not use it for a challenge. I'm gonna make full use of it, especially for these sections. All the other stages you can relatively straightforwardly do without the use of gears, but this is the one which really wants you to use the speed gear, and it shows. While he's not super evil yet. Okay, Buster, we'll have to agree to disagree here. I mean, we're putting everything aside while he's still the villain and needs to go to prison. Like, we can talk about all start to finish about justifying versus not justifying his actions, understanding where he came from, the logical inconsistencies. End of the day, he's still in the wrong. I want to make that clear before someone says that Wily's actually correct. Wily's a bit innocent. No. Yeah, I'm not sure how you're supposed to do that normal way. Well, yeah, I know how you're supposed to do it the normal way, but it's, yeah. With this final section especially, you really want to use either power or speed. I think we're Buster, Mr. Scarde, Sylv. I think we're going down to semantics now. The first two sections, sure, I can safely do without it, but ooh, this last one without the use of special weapons, that is pain. Okay, jump off. Can I stagger it open? I guess. Whoops. I didn't mean to fry it. Okay, get ready. I'm gonna have to shoot them one by one. Go. Yeah, I have to rush coil this. What the H? Fine. Alright, we're out. Difficult stage followed by the most difficult RM fight. He's basically he wouldn't be out of place with something like Street Fighter. Basically, the way you should treat him is like a fighting game character. Ow. Ow. Go. Oh, darn it. If I only shot 1 second earlier. Difficult stage followed by the most difficult RM encounter. He's essentially a fighting game character and should be treated as such. Street Fighter Light. Whoa. He's a great boss fight, but he's really tricky if you don't get used to the controls. Perish! He's a very fun encounter. He's a very engaging encounter, but you have to pay very close attention to his tells in order to survive. Doesn't help that his torch arm destroys my projectiles. Doesn't help that his torch arm destroys my charge shots. Destroys or absorbs. By defeating him, I get the blazing torch. And for the powered up version, it's wonderful in Blastman's level. Who next? That's the hardest stage out of the way. Still causes trouble for me. Meanwhile, Gamerman completely missed the conversation. I think the thing we're arguing about is all about semantics. Like, at the end of the day, regardless of everything, it doesn't justify what he's doing today. We can argue about what happened in the past and how it could have been handled better, who was in the wrong back then, who was in the right back then. But at the end of the day, the game, and I agree with it, treats that Wily's actions did not be justifiable. Being snubbed by the research and being snubbed as a research and the world for not being the most well-established robot creator, that doesn't justify trying to take over the world and causing wanton destruction in the process. No siree. Torchman is the most active of all the bosses and will not let the players breed on normal mode. Meanwhile on hard/superhero mode, that applies to most bosses. That applies to many bosses. Correction. Yeah, on hard mode, Torch becomes even more aggressive. He's the main reason why I didn't want to play this on hard mode, because I was worried I was going to game over without chugging E-tanks. Not to mention the stage itself. Let's see, impact, block, bounce, bounce, block, block, block. The redemption means, in order for Wily to be redeemed, Wily wants to have to redeem himself. And Wily can't just let go of his feud, even though he's basically created way more robots than Light by this point. Probably. Like, there were several good points where he could have dropped out from his feud. 1, 2, the start of Tree maybe? Heck, even by the end of the game, he could have just ended the feud. But on every jump-off point, he refuses. Begging for mercy only to run away, or get imprisoned. Unfortunately, Wily just has too much pride and cannot just get over the world quote-unquote wronging him from his own perspective. That's the sad thing. I can see a world where... I can see a universe where he does get redeemed, but he needs a mind shift change. Or needs to hang around some robots or humans who actually push him to change more. Who aren't as idealistic as Light is. I don't get why we can look at the menu like that, but sure. I would apologize to Buster if I sound like I was just, you know, pushing it too far back. Welcome to the first stage introduced in the trailer. Welcome to the first stage showcased in the trailer. This is another solid choice for a beginning level. Fairly straightforward, and the boss fight isn't too fairly straightforward, and the boss at the end, fairly straightforward, and Blockman at the end isn't too much of an issue. Excuse me. Thank you. Fairly straightforward level with only 2 tricky spots, and the boss at the end is not that hard. And Blockman itself isn't that hard. Thank you. You're supposed to use the speed gear to slow him down so you can shoot him, so you can shoot through his guard. I prefer doing it this way. Yes, all mid-bosses are weak to the... Yes, all mid-bosses are weak to the... Yes, all mid-bosses are weak to the Chain Blast, but this one especially. Yes, all mid-bosses are weak to the Chain Blast, but this one especially. Rush. Thank you, boy. Drill Wall of Debt. That wasn't so hard. Time for the first tricky spot of the level. The first tricky spot of the level. Hello. Let's see, Blazing Torch. Ah, it's you again. I have more than enough bolts. I can do this. I see you there, Aunt Eddie. Wait. Thank you. I wonder if he's... I forget if he's there in superhero mode. The other good use of this weapon? Yeah, just skip this entirely. Remember when I was saying, this is what I was talking... I'd rather use Rush. Oh, beat. Help. Okay, that didn't work as I hoped. Fine. I was hoping to coil up there, but sure. And the second tricky spot of the level. And the second and final tricky spot of the level. Wow, he just ate it. Ow. Come on. I'd rather not perish right close to the end. Like that happened. Okay. I thought the hitbox was a little bit smaller. Anti-hero's here. Anti-Eddie is not superhero. He doesn't hold anything. He's just here to tease you. I love the chain. I love the super chain blast. No, I pressed the wrong button. I slid when I should have jumped. Once again, playing more aggressively actually saves me more often than it. Once again, by playing more aggressively, I saved. Once again, playing more aggressively was the easier option. Go figure. Ah. You can even see the comments in the background. What are you doing here? We're shouting Mega Man Stand in the background. The only boss who has a dedicated critical phase, where he transforms into a giant hulking form. This is the one attack which I know you have to get up. You have to get up close to dodge that. I'd rather not perish this close to the end. You'll never know what happens next. The only boss who has a dedicated critical phase. The only boss who has a dedicated critical phase. I never understood how to dodge this. Usually the way I would do it is speed gear or power gear, blast through it.
What are you doing here? You're just another brick in the wall.
Stone Man if you locked in, yeah. I love the mural in the background foreshadowing Mega Man's defeat. I'm trying to do this gear only, but it's tricky with the second phase. Got it. Haha. And for the final one, he kind of mimics... And for the final one, he mimics Yellow Devil. Not that it really helps him. And for the final phase, he mimics... And for the final phase, he mimics Yellow Devil. Not that it really helps him. There is an easy way of doing this fight, which is just use the Power Gear Charge Shot. Which I didn't. Regardless, by defeating him, I get the Block Dropper. Which you're all well aware of thanks to Maker already. Not so well aware of is the powered up version, which is everything in front of you die, please. Impact or bounce, take your pick.
The reactor's running on...
Okay, are you sure? Ta-da! Are you sure? Ta-da! Are you sure? Ta-da! All ready! Good luck out there, Mega! Are you sure? Ta-da!
The reactor's running on...
Okay, Mega!
Yo, Mega! Can I interest you in some parts?
Okay, Mega! What'll it be?
Yo, Mega! Can I interest you in some parts? Sure this is what you want, buddy? And there you have it!
Might as well get this.
Sure this is what you want, buddy? Sure this is what you want, buddy? And there you have it!
Okay, Mega. Are you sure? Ta-da! Are you sure? Ta-da! All ready. Good luck.
All good. Your tip is not to jump. When I said straightforward fight at the beginning, I failed to make note of how much damage they can deal during their big golem form. Like how the game really wants you to use the speed gear during Torchman, it really wants you to use the power gear. It really wants you to use power gear during this fight. Let's leave a lasting impact. I'm gonna continue the game next week, but end off after the RMs. That way the Wily Fortress gets enough time. Abandoned construction site. Wily's returned to his old tricks this time around. Literally even older than before. Literally even older than Mega Man 1 in this case. Wily returns to his old tricks with this one, not even trying to hide his schemes. Not even trying to hide his schemes this time around. Excuse me. Why is returning to his old... Why is turning back to his old schemes this time around? Not even trying to hide his involvement. Wily's back to his old schemes this time around. Not even trying to hide his involvement. 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 Not even trying... Wily's going old school with this one. Wily's going old school with this one. Not even trying to hide his involvement this time around. After the last 3 games. Although he's going even more older school with this plan. Although he's going even older school, bringing out one of his tools from, bringing back one of his tools from his older time, bringing back one of his main tools from. Bringing back one of his tools from his young. Bringing back one of his tools from when he was young. Bringing back one of his tools from his old times. Then. Move back, please. Hello, move back. Thank you. Ah! I got backed into. Bringing back one of his tools from his child. Bringing back one of his tools when he was a younger scientist. Impressive. Acid barrier is basically the best weapon to use in the stage, and it really shows later. Acid barrier is basically the best weapon to use in the stage, and it really shows up late, and it really shows later. Fitting as it's his weakness. Fitting as it's his weakness. Yeah, the hitbox on this mid-boss is a bit weird. The hitbox on this mid-boss is a bit weird. This poor enemy is just doing his job. You're right. I have to lure it back. Bye-bye! There's so many little environmental details which I'm not remarking on that add more charm and life to this world. Alright, here's a section where you really want to use the acid barrier. Or the pile driver, but I said I'd take full advantage of my gear system. Unfortunately, it doesn't work against these things. Sadly. Excuse me, blazing torch, yeah. Ooh. Could have probably just rushed from the bottom, but knowing my luck, I'm not testing it. Knowing my luck, I'm not testing out that Terry. Haha, missed me. All set for the fight. He's not the easiest, nor is he the hardest. Misread the tell. Weakness is head. Out, molten metal. I did escape. Him using the pile driver isn't even the most dangerous part of the fight. Haha. Too spiky! The pile driver isn't even the scariest part of the fight. It's when he tries impaling you. It's when he uses his critical. I can see why you say he's one of the easiest ones. I would put him in the mid pack. I'd put him in the mid pack, but eh. Something else I like about this game. I got the pile driver, one of my favorite weapons of the game. Mainly for its mobility options. So 1 RM remains, but hang on a moment. Something else I like about this game. A new addition I like in this game. Unlike previous entries where gaining new Unlike previous entries where gaining a new special weapon only changes Mega Man's color scheme, unlike previous entries where gaining new special weapons only changes Mega Man's color scheme, this one actually changes up his design in very notable ways. It reminds me of the way Battle Network and Star Force do it. It reminds me of the different forms in Battle Network and Star Force. It reminds me of the forms in Battle Network and Star Force in a way. It's great. It reminds me of the different forms in Star Force and Battle. It reminds me of the different forms in Battle Network and Star Force in a way. It's great. And it's also a callback to Mega Man 1. And it's also kind of a callback to Mega Man 1. Back in the planning stages for that game, they wanted Mega Man to have a different helmet for every weapon, but that fell true. Now over 30 years later, it's done. So last but not least, Bounce Man. Bouncy stage, easy fight. At the end. And really the only stage team that I like listening to. Consistently. See, as much as I love this game, one of its weak points is the soundtrack. As much as I love this game's design, the one weak point, oh. Darn it. Fine, rush. See, as much as I love this game, the one weak point it has is the one weak point it has is a soundtrack. I don't know what happened with this one, but I don't know what happened with this one. I don't know what happened with this one. It's kind of a... Ow. Thank you. I don't know what happened with this one. The soundtrack of 10 was pretty good. The soundtrack of 10 was pretty nice. This is the only stage track that I actually like listening to. Get ready for bouncy balls and springs everywhere. Best weapon to use here is the pile driver, as it gives horizontal momentum and one-shots the balloon enemies. Let me demonstrate. Oh yeah, enemies also flash purple if you hit them with their weakness. No. This must take place in an amusement park. I love the design of the up and down attackers. Literally trying to stop you. Literally trying to stop you. They're a traffic guard trying to stop you. They're effectively a traffic guard trying to stop you. Oh yeah, enemies now flash purple. Oh yeah, enemies flash purple when you hit them with a weakness now. As a visual indicator when you're doing something right. Oh yeah, enemies flash purple when you hit them with a weakness. Oh yeah, enemies now flash purple. Enemies now flash purple when you hit them with their weakness. As an on-screen indicator that... For an on-screen indication that... Oh yeah, enemies now flash purple when you hit them with their weakness. Come on. Okay, fine. No. For a bit of on-screen indication when you're doing something right. For an on-screen indicator that you're doing something right. Oh no. Can I just... Well, easy come, easy go, I guess. Round 2. Now let me sort of show you how broken this becomes. What? Oh, there. There we go. Yeah, it just immediately pops it. It immediately pops it. It immediately punctures and pops it. The driver immediately punctures and pops it. I can't bother with that. Thank you for knocking me right into a life pickup. That was wonderful. Oh yeah, visual design. I know it's... Oh yeah, visual design. I know the animations are a bit stiff, but the overall... Oh yeah, the visual design. I know the animations are a bit stiff. Got it. I know the animations are a bit stiff looking, but the overall design and sound effects, I love them. They don't feel as generic Saturday morning cartoony as they did back in 8 and 8.5. They don't sound as generic Saturday morning cartoony as they did in 8. They feel distinctly Mega Man-y. Yeah. It's a bit embarrassing, but I gotta do this. It sounds distinctly Mega Man-y, so to speak. GG. Clown Man's successor. Truly Clown Man's successor. By defeating him, I get the bounce ball. Basically, the rebound striker, but actually good. Basically, the rebound striker, but actually good.
Otto, do you have any idea where Wily's gone to?
McWiley's?
He's totally vanished, Mega Buddy. Maybe he decided to turn tail and run. Huh?
What is it, Otto?
There's someone hijacking our signal.
Could it be?
Indeed it could.
Type faster, Otto.
Genius neither runs nor hides.
Wily!
Light than you, Mega Man. How dare you use my double gear system? Now you've crossed the line. I'll turn you into scrap myself. I'm at point E1685578. Come to my gear fortress.
How long has that chicken been in the microwave? How long has the drumstick been in the microwave?
That's all we needed. I'm heading out, Dr. Light.
It's time to finish this. Good luck, Mega Man. It's up to you to stop Dr. Wily.
Yes, sir.
You can do it, Mega Man!
Mega, be careful out there.
Okay.
Why doxes himself live in 4K, 8K? Hey, Wily. But of course, I'll be saving that for next week as I'm out of time. 11 is one of the classic games that not only does pretty much, or does almost everything right in my book, and doesn't have any pain points. It's just so smooth. It's just so smooth to play and flows very well. And the stages, the stages are all good in their own ways and have their own. They have their own flows. I think the composition is decent, but it's let down by the sound font. But it's let down by the sound font they chose. Bounce Man was supposed to be a Bounce Man was supposed to be a fun house and exercise gym, but the stage isn't fun for you. I can see the stage being a bit annoying, being bounced around repeatedly. Yeah, Power Driver is basically Power Driver can be taught as a charge kick, but actually good. And the Power Gear version is great. Power Driver can be taught as a. I see your point. I see your point, Mr. Scarday. I see your point, Mr. Scarday. The Power Driver can be taught as a charge kick, but better. Way better. Mega Man's running animation is a bit stiff, I agree. It's as we'll see next week, this game had a limited budget, and it shows. They spent it on where it mostly counts, the gameplay and narrative. But in points where they didn't spend as much on like the graphics and music, it shows. And also, the Valley Fortress had 2 stages, but we'll get to that the next week. 2 more. See, I like the graphical style. I need to make something clear. I like the graphical style aesthetics, the backgrounds, even the enemy designs. It's just that the animations are, specifically in regards to Mega Man, are a bit stiff. With the Rod Masters, they're fine. But as we've seen from the Double Override, they seem to have fixed the animations. Okay. We'll continue next week and beat the game. Yeah. Again, I would have done I would have done hard mode if I had more time, but as you know, stuff is coming up, so yeah. This is where I'll have to call it. Thank you for joining me this week for the ending of W and the beginning of 11. Starting off with something that was decent and ending off with something that's great. And my last point, I want to emphasize that I'm really happy that Capcom actually learned from the previous games and this game didn't suffer from sequel stagnation. It actually justifies its own existence and not just being a DLC expansion pack sequel. In any case, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.